Welcome everyone to today's video. And today, as you might have noticed, I have a very, very special guest. I'm today with Mrs. Sabine Schwind von Egelstein. And of course, I'll request Mrs. von Egelstein to introduce herself as well. But because you guys have asked me a lot of questions about job in Germany, working in Germany, the German work culture, how to appear in an interview here, how to dress while appearing for a German interview, which cities are better to find jobs, how to even hold small talks with Germans. So we're going to be talking about a lot of topics with Mrs. von Egelstein. And Mrs. von Egelstein, she's coming with an extensive experience of corporate coaching, life coaching, image building, corporate image building specifically. If you want to work in Germany, she has done lots of work in that regard. But of course, I'd request you, Mrs. von Egelstein, to introduce yourself and let our audience know more about yourself. So, and after that, we'll dive into our questions.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a consultant in making a very good impression in business, and not only a good impression, but a targeted impression. So my consulting areas are appearance, appropriate appearance, behavior, and charisma, communication, um, body language, and verbal language. So all these that belong to a person to make an impact. And I do this for more than 25 years, and I'm consulting high potentials. I'm consulting CEOs. I'm consulting politicians and media. So I have a lot of experience, and sometimes it's not so easy to ask a question with yes or no. So it's very, very often it depends, and I hope I can give you as much information which you can use in applying here in Germany.
That's great. Thank you very much. And I'm actually very excited because I have lots of questions and I've written some of them here in front of me because I saw lots of videos of you appearing on German TV and consulting different celebrities and politicians and giving advices on how can they work on their image and they can represent themselves, especially if they're working in a corporate world. So we'll go through everything that mostly my audience they wants to know about who are interested in coming to Germany in general. So, my first question, because you work also with a lot of corporate leaders, managers who are in top positions in Germany. So, this is like the most common question that I've often been asked: that how can a foreigner, let's say, I talk about someone like myself who is coming from a background from outside Europe, from South Asia, from Pakistan, that how can a foreigner find a job in Germany, and which German cities they are best to work if you are a foreigner in Germany? We can start off with that.
Okay, so also in Germany we are a little digital, so it's there are platforms you can use, and because some of them are written in German, I show it here to you. Maybe
Oh,
can you see it?
oh
Uh,
yes, I can see that. I can read the stepstone.
Stepstone is internationally. Then it says Stellenangebote. This is German. It
Hmm.
says Stellenanzeigen.
Right.
This is German, and then Indeed and Munster. I think
Hmm.
both of them are international.
Right.
Um, so these are the platforms you should look for jobs. So I would do it, and I recommended everybody to look there. These are the top five, I would say.
All right.
And
Okay.
my recommendation, really, as a foreigner, is looking in the big cities, not in
Okay.
the countryside. So, for example, Berlin is the most international city we have in Germany, and yeah, cities like Munich, Hamburg, Cologne are more international than smaller cities. And
Right.
the branches make a big difference because
Hmm.
yeah, IT, for example, is a very international branch where the office language is very often English, even here in Germany. So
Right.
if you're on IT and you look in a big city on these platforms, I think you will be lucky.
Alrighty. Okay, great. I mean, indeed, very helpful websites, the ones that you mentioned there. And one more aspect of the same question that mostly these are the recommendations for those foreigners who are non-German speakers at the moment, because every foreigner who is coming to Germany, of course, I keep on like telling them all the time that learning German should be your top priority, even if it's not required for your work, because to integrate in the society and to have I would say a comfortable life, you should be able to speak German. But in the beginning, of course, they can't learn immediately, but they still want to have a job. So, especially for non-German speakers, these are the recommendations.
Yeah, so you should just try. Yeah, so the Germans are not the kind of persons who don't help or who don't want to understand you if you are not perfect in German. So if you have a few words like Guten Tag, Auf Wiedersehen, Bitte, Danke, so the basics, that helps a lot and shows people that you are open-minded to live here and
Hmm.
not only take the benefits from Germany, but don't want to adapt on the culture and the language.
Right, right. I agree with that. All right. Just extending the question that, all right, let's say once one has marked the companies they want to apply for through these websites, they apply there, they get an invitation for the job interview. So the next phase, because I want to share like a little story that I experienced myself, because when I came here from Pakistan 8 years ago, so I was in a dilemma that should I bring my suit with me or not? Because I think we had like a limit to carry in the suitcase. So I had like lots of stuff. And I was thinking, because usually when you go for an interview in Pakistan, you wear like a suit, right? When you go for like a corporate interview. So I was thinking, okay, no, first I'm going as a student. So I think I might not be needing a suit, at least in the first year, because I'm studying there. I'm doing my master's degree. And after that, if I go back, or I can just ask a friend of mine who's traveling back, and my brother back home can just send my suit through through my friend. So I really missed it when I gave for my first ever job interview. That I was just thinking like, what should I wear? Like what kind of dress should be appropriate? Like, because I never have been in a German office before. So I was thinking it's a middle-sized company, not a real startup, but not a typical traditional company where like 94 or 5% of the workforce is German. It was kind of a mixture of both. So I want your tips and suggestions on what can, especially we foreigners, when we come here and we are for the very first time going for our internship interviews or job interviews. So what attire can we have? What kind of dress code can we follow for all the types of companies? Probably you can give your suggestions for.
Okay, yeah, it actually depends on the company. It depends a little on the location and the branch, but basically you can say for startups or young companies, media companies, you cannot get wrong with a clean, ironed black or white or dark blue color shirt or
Okay, this.
blouse.
Okay.
And like you wear, or
Thanks.
myself, and a classic pant. And in more traditional companies, or in the finance business, in the insurance business, something like that, a suit would be really appropriate. Business shirt, you don't have to wear a tie, but everything should be fresh and clean. So these are really, common recommendations. To
Hmm.
find exactly the right outfit is my profession as consultant. This
Yes.
especially important if the interview is virtually, because you only have this a small computer screen to
Hmm.
record your personality.
Hmm.
And they are not only the right dress is important, but the right setting, the technical setup, the light, the microphone, the camera angle, and so on. So you in any kind of self presentation, you should polish yourself and your surroundings. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Great. So, and would that go same for let's say, because in cities like Berlin or Munich or Dusseldorf, Cologne, they have a very big startup culture as well. there are lots of companies where they're just newly founded companies with a very young workforce. Even the co-founders are like in their mid 20s or late 20s, and they haven't experienced that typical German corporate lifestyle before. So, what would you say in that regard? Because lots of foreigners, they do tend to come in bigger cities, like you advised before as well.
Yeah, I mean, I I stick to the recommendation: wear a suit, wear an attire, because you can take off the jacket and then you have a business shirt on and the pants. Yeah, so you can dress down more easily. But if you don't have a suit, you cannot dress up. Yeah? So um, that makes it easier. Dressing down is easier than dressing up. And if you feel overdressed in a suit because you come to a startup where everybody wears jeans and t-shirt, then
Hmm.
you are in a clean pant and in a clean shirt, and just take off the jacket and everything is fine. You can put up the arms a little and everything is fine.
Righty, alrighty.